Well, hello, my YouTube friend. For the life of me, I can't remember when and why also I stopped making videos about production knives on YouTube because this is something that I really appreciate. I mean, you know me by now. For those of you who follow me and follow my custom knives, you know that I'm mostly collecting custom and I'm focused on collecting custom knife, of course, but I have been collecting knives for decades, and the better part of my life, I've been having production knives or traditional French knives or whatever, and custom. I really started. Maybe I want to say the real start of the custom maybe 10 years ago, and because of the social media, or not because, thanks to the social media, I started to collect, I would say, American knives, because I was able to reach you guys, collectors. I was able to reach also the knife maker that were living in odd places in the country. I mean, prior, you need to understand, for those of you guys who are under the age of 40 something, maybe you were born with the internet, stuff like that. But before that, for old fucks as me, before the internet, I mean, to contact a guy like Jeremy Marsh or Stout or whomever you want to. I mean, this was impossible for me. So it was a world that I barely knew. So really, yeah, I started maybe collecting custom like 5 years ago. I'm always digressing on my point. That was absolutely not the point that I wanted to discuss. So, yeah, I've been collecting knives forever, and having production knife for me is something that is part of my life and that will not cease anytime soon. And custom knives is something that I like for a different reason. You know, usually when I make my videos, as usual, I don't plan them. This one is absolutely not planned. As a matter of fact, I was speaking about production knives with a custom collector like a day ago, something like that, and it reminded me just like that I didn't make a video. So the first first opportunity I have to make a video about the production knife, I decided to make it. That out of the blue, okay? So, like I said, I'm not preparing them. It's totally erratic as usual, but mostly I always focus myself, so I know that on most of my videos, you can be sure that when I'm going to discuss about a knife, at some point, I'm going to focus on three big points, like the first being the functionality of a knife, second being the mechanics for the folders, of course, and the third one being the art of the knife, okay? So on my custom knives, for those of you who like production knife, the part of functionality is set off because it's not something that those custom knives I don't use. So I don't care about the functionality as much as I would care for production. I don't care about the material, blade material, I mean, or the cutting performances or whatever. This is something that is really set on the. It's at the last level of my concern. And maybe for those of you who like production knives, you might think that I'm only interested in the cosmetic of a knife, in which I would refer you to my first video on YouTube, or maybe this one, we'll see about that. It's something that it's purposely orientated on the cosmetics and on the art more than the functionality of the knife, of course, because I don't use them. So to me, it would be unnatural to speak about something that I don't do. So now, after 4 minutes, I decided, like I said, to make a video, and the knives that I chose are actually my favorite production knife ever. Those are the Sage. The Sage series are just, to me, the best Spyderco design ever. This is for the function. We're going to discuss about that like really soon. This is my favorite. And then after that, because it has a flipper, which the Sage don't have, you have the Domino. It's a bit bigger than what I like for an EDC, but it's just a fantastic knife. And definitely those are, I mean, this is one design, and this is the other one. So the Sage and the Domino are my favorite knife ever, and they come from Spyderco. I mean, they have a lot of other design, but they're, you know, I like the paramilitary too, for example, too. But I don't know, the line of it is not as sexy as this one. It's a little bit funky. Oh, the shapes of Spyderco actually are really funky, and this is probably the only one with maybe a couple of others that are not funky. They are just like really designed to cut and to be used. Fantastic knife. So here are the Sage. This one, the Sage ones, maybe the knife that I've used the most. I am always careful with my knives, so I take care of them. I take care of the edge, I take care of everything, so they look like almost brand new. But believe me, this one has served a lot. Not talking about the old knives that I have, French knives or whatever. Those are, I mean, talking about like knives that you guys may know, that Spyderco Sage one has served me more than any other one. So the Sage is a fantastic design for me. Fantastic design. So, you know, it's a kind of tribute to all the makers. So on this one, there's a liner lock, so it's a tribute. The Sage series is a tribute to the maker, okay? To the maker that counted in the knife making. This one is a tribute to Michael Walker, obviously. This one is a tribute, obviously, to Chris Reeves, that invented the frame lock. Michael Walker, of course, invented the liner lock. The Sage 3, other one. I mean, they have like five, I would say, Sage series. The Sage one's my favorite. I mean, first of all, the design. Check that handle. Spyderco has invented so many things in the knife world. First of all, they invented the clip. For those of you who don't know, that was a patent. For years and years, only Spyderco had the patent to make clip. Then, of course, they invented that ingenious hole on the blade, which not only takes off some weight on the blade without jeopardizing the sturdiness of the blade. It takes off some material, so it's lighter, and it provides you a versatile way of opening with the thumb, with the middle finger, with the index, with the forefinger. I don't know if I get it with the forefinger. Also the Spidey trick. I mean, that's just a fantastic invention, just crazy. And then they are making design that are, I mean, they are made to be used. Check that. I mean, this big group that you have here and all this length that you have, just enough for an excel hand. Check that. The length is just perfect for that. The grip that you have here is fantastic. Check here that. You see that there is some texture on this carbon fiber that looks really great. This one does not. This one looks fantastic, and it has this grip, so you have a grip that is really secured. Then they always come with some jimping that is just perfect. I mean, and the ramp and the jimping prevents your thumb to go anywhere. And as if it was not enough, you have a front choil here for the front. I mean, if you want to do like some small cutting task. So here you have your thumb laying here on the jimping, and here this front choil is just perfect. Here the middle finger and the rest here. So for the small cutting task, this is perfect. All the blade length, no craziness, nothing here is dedicated to the cutting task. But you have, not all actually, it's a slicer, check that. This is pointy, you can trust also. Self-defense, yeah, I mean, I don't care. I mean, this is, to me, those are EDC, those are, and by EDC, I mean, I'm not gonna fight every day against my peers. Those are designed to cut things. No nonsense also, it's a flat grind here. It's like, check that, it's thick enough, not too thin, not too thick. So this like is a perfect slicer. I mean, what better blade shape would you ask for slicing? This, I cut everything with it. No nonsense, no craziness. Again, that's flat, simple as that. All the blade length for the cutting task, perfect. Then for the grip, I mentioned that Spyderco was ingenious. I mean, this is something that, for the life of me, I don't understand why not every maker don't do that. The two half choils. So basically you have half choil on the blade, half choil on the handle, and it makes a full choil. Now, why wouldn't you guys, makers, do that for every of your knives? Because this is just crazy. If you do a front choil only on the blade, you will dedicate a lot of part of your blade for that front choil. If it's only on the handle, it's going to be also ugly. But if it's half, it's just perfect. When it's closed, you don't even mention it. It's part of the handle. You don't notice it. It's not like too ugly. And the same on the blade. It's not a big cut. You barely notice it. But then it provides you this perfect choil, and with some grip here, some jimping here also. Absolutely fantastic. I cannot think of a better knife. Just try to imagine a knife that would be designed as this one for cutting. This is a cutting tool. The blade steel on this one is the Crucible, the CPM S30V. I think they maybe chose it because in the Sage Cherry they have Chris Reeve, and Chris Reeve mostly use that steel. So it's a fantastic steel. It has proven to be a real quality steel, very nice retention, no rust, nothing. It's a perfect steel, okay? Not as good as the Carpenter steel that you have on the Domino, but a perfect steel. Nothing to say about the CPM S30V. As for the fit and finish, those one has made as they're done in Taichung, Taiwan. You know that Spyderco, they do their knives in Seki City in Japan, Taichung, Taiwan, and in Colorado also. Those from Taichung, Taiwan have always had my preference. They're not made in the US, but it's like a US company, and the fit and finish is by far the best. They have the better steel. They're allowed. For quite a while, the Crucible was only found in the US, but for Spyderco, they can ship it to Taichung, Taiwan. Seki City is mostly VG10 they use, and in Colorado is like CPM mostly. But those from Taichung, Taiwan, the fit and finish is just phenomenal, fantastic. I love also, the spider that you have here. You have a kind of, some texture on it. It's already 12 minutes. I don't even know how I'm going to get to talk to Domino, but I don't know. The mechanics are phenomenal. The detent is just exactly what you need to deploy it smoothly, or to flick it as you have seen me done. It's rock solid. It doesn't budge at all. Check that liner, check its engagement. I'm telling you, I've used that knife like crazy. Regular hardware, if you want to disassemble for maintenance, perfect. Just simple 3 screws and you're done. The clip, wire clip, one of the best clip I've ever seen. This, you don't even feel it. Check that. And on this one, you don't have the obnoxious holes that you have everywhere on the Domino, which is something that I don't like, which is good for versatility. For those of you guys who are lefties, who like to have the knife tip up or tip down or whatever, you have the versatility of the holes here, the holes here, the holes here, the holes here. It's good for versatility. It's absolutely ugly when it comes to that. Check that. Those are holes on the handle. It's ugly. Whereas on the Sage, they decided to not provide the tip down carry. And for the wire clip, those are not holes. It's just like a kind of groove that is, to me, well integrated in it. So design-wise, again, this is just my favorite by far. Standoffs here, really nice. They're made, as you can imagine. I've talked about that. The fit and finish is just phenomenal. And on this one, I like the fact that they went for a cut on the inside. So, mechanically speaking, I've spoke to some maker and they say that it's not as good when it's done on the inside. I don't know. This one I've used it a lot too, and it's rock solid. And for the design, it's really nice to have a flush scale like that without any cut, nothing, just fantastic. We are now at 15 minutes. It's crazy. It goes so far, and so many things that I forgot to mention. Maybe I would do a part 2. This one I like the texture also. I don't like the way it looks on a Domino, but what a fantastic knife. The same as the Sage, a little bit bigger, and you have the flipper with a detent that is just insane. And the steel insert here also, absolutely perfect. We are heading to the 15 minutes. I like less the clip, but I have to stop it here. So my friend, I'll catch you very soon for another video. Bye-bye.